It's been a long time since we saw those terrifying mutant families, but with horror remakes and sequels popping up everywhere, there's a chance we might return to the desert. Is a third Hills Have Eyes movie on the way? The original movies were scary and the 2006 remake was even better, but the sequel didn't quite hit the mark. So, could a third movie bring back the fear and excitement? Will we see new characters or familiar faces? Well, to know all about this, you have to stay tuned till the end. Since the reboot of the Hills Have Eyes horror series in 2006 and its sequel in 2007, there's been hardly any buzz about a third movie. But the 2024s have shown that even older franchises can return after a long break. The original film, directed by Wes Craven in 1977, was a significant horror movie from that era, especially during the time of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Craven, who later gained fame for creating Freddy Krueger, made a big mark with this film, which still has a strong following among horror enthusiasts. The 2006 remake of this movie was well received and, according to many fans, even better than the original. Over the years, the newer films have managed to attract a loyal fan base. Even though it's been over 15 years since the last sequel, the idea of a new film isn't out of the question. Hollywood has shown a trend of reviving old franchises, with series like Predator, Hellraiser, and Halloween making comebacks long after their initial runs. This trend indicates that older horror films still have the potential for a return. While this series may not have reached the same level of popularity as those bigger franchises, there are still fans who enjoyed the 2006 remake and are eager for more. This creates an opportunity for either Hollywood or a streaming service to bring back the series and give it a fresh start. Even though there hasn't been much news about a new film, the recent trend of revisiting old favorites suggests that now could be the right time for a new installment. With a dedicated audience and a successful past, there's a chance for this horror series to return and engage both longtime fans and new viewers. The story of a potential third film in this horror series would likely build on the events of the first two movies. In those films, nuclear fallout led to the creation of mutant families living in the hills. These mutants, isolated from the outside world, kidnapped travelers to expand their families. The military was aware of these mutants, adding more depth to the story beyond what Wes Craven originally envisioned. The 2006 remake of this horror classic, directed by Alexandre Aja, took a fresh approach that many fans and critics praised. Aja improved on Craven's original concept by expanding and enhancing the storyline, making it a standout horror film in the 2000s. Unfortunately, the sequel released in 2007 didn't live up to these high standards. Instead of advancing the story, it mostly repeated the elements of the remake, missing an opportunity to further develop the new world Aja had created. A third installment could be a chance to revive and innovate the series. If a new filmmaker brings fresh ideas, it could follow in the footsteps of Prey, which successfully reinvigorated the Predator franchise. A new vision could introduce exciting twists and deepen the existing story, potentially making this film stand out in the horror genre. Interestingly, there was an early attempt to make the Hills Have Eyes 3 long before the recent films. In 1995, Wes Craven worked on a horror movie called Mind Ripper, which aired on HBO. This film, one of Craven's lesser-known projects, was originally intended to be part of the Hills Have Eyes series and was initially titled The Hills Have Eyes 3. Although it ended up being a separate story about scientists being hunted by a mutant named Thor in a desert bunker, it shares some thematic elements with the series, such as the desert setting and a human-eating villain. This background provides an intriguing connection to the previous films. In the 2006 and 2007 movies, scientists were responsible for creating the mutants, and Mind Ripper touched on similar themes of mutant antagonists. A new film could explore a storyline where the mutants seek revenge against those who caused their suffering, tying back to the idea of the mutants confronting their creators. A new entry in the series has the potential to bring fresh life to the franchise. With a creative director and a compelling story that connects to the previous films, there's a chance to make The Hills Have Eyes 3 a memorable addition to the horror genre. By drawing on both the past films and the early ideas for a third movie, it could offer a new and thrilling experience for fans of the series. However, bringing fresh faces into the cast could really add to the excitement. There are several actors who have gained recognition in recent horror movies and could be perfect for new roles in a third film. One strong choice could be Rebecca Ferguson, known for her role in Dr. Sleep. Her experience in horror and thriller genres makes her a great fit for a series that thrives on suspense and fear. Another excellent addition could be Daniel Kaluuya, who impressed audiences with his performance in Nope. Kaluuya's ability to bring depth and intensity to his roles would add a new level of excitement to the series. Jenna Ortega, who has garnered attention for her role in Wednesday, would also be a fantastic choice. Her growing popularity and talent in dark, atmospheric roles could bring a fresh energy to the film. Including well-known actors like Ferguson, Kaluuya, and Ortega could not only attract their fans, but also bring a new dimension to the horror series. Their involvement could help bridge the gap of over 15 years since the last film and generate fresh interest among both old and new viewers. While it might be challenging to bring back stars from the previous films, casting actors who are currently making waves in the horror genre could be an exciting way to revitalize the franchise. With familiar names and fresh performances, a new film could capture the interest of a broad audience and make up for the long wait since the last installment. While there's no fresh news about The Hills Have Eyes 3, the trend of reviving long-awaited movie sequels continues to grow in Hollywood. Lately, studios have been bringing back even the most unexpected films from the past. For example, despite Rob Zombie's Halloween movies not impressing many, the franchise came back strong with a new trilogy a decade later. The original film is still celebrated as a horror classic. The remake capitalized on the success of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot and did well enough to warrant a sequel. Despite this, there's a growing interest in reviving older horror franchises. Each time these movies move to a new streaming service, they get a fresh wave of interest. This means that the same could happen for The Hills Have Eyes. Hollywood loves to revisit past successes, and with the right mix of nostalgia and fresh ideas, a third installment could capture the interest of both old fans and a new audience. The original film's ability to engage horror fans, combined with the success of similar reboots, suggests that The Hills Have Eyes 3 might not be too far off. According to a source close to the show, exciting changes are on the horizon and new versions of the series are in the works. For now, fans can revisit earlier episodes of the show on Paramount Plus, where they can catch up on the original cast's latest adventures in love, life, and success. The revival of The Hills brought back familiar faces like Brody Jenner, Audrina Patridge, Spencer Pratt, and Heidi Montag, along with other returning stars such as Frankie Delgado, Jason Waller and his wife Ashley, Justin Brescia, Stephanie Pratt, and Caitlyn Carter-Jenner. The second season of the reboot sparked a lot of drama and new dynamics among the cast. Spencer and Heidi Pratt recently shared their thoughts on what might come next for the show. During an interview in May, they discussed how the cast's behavior shifted dramatically between the first and second seasons. Spencer noted that some cast members initially thought he was secretly an executive producer in the first season. When they realized he wasn't, tension seemed to rise. Spencer joked that if the show were to have a third season, it might feature an entirely new cast. He joked that after this season's drama, it might be tough for the current cast to all get along in the same room again. Heidi agreed, mentioning that the cast members are known for holding grudges, which could make it even harder for everyone to come together if the show continues. The future of The Hills is definitely full of possibilities, but for now, fans will have to wait and see how things unfold. Are you waiting for this sequel? Let us know about your views in the comments section below, and for more such amazing videos, please subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.